Hey everybody, it's me, Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie. On this episode of CD Junkie, I'm not going to be talking about CDs. I'm going to be talking about an artist that's on CDs, but, I'm not really going to talk about CDs at all. I'm going to talk about the Beatles. Now, a lot of people may not know this, but the Beatles are my favorite band of all time, but I don't talk about them because I feel that I want to put attention on bands that deserve it, great bands that don't get a lot of attention. And that's been, ultimately a detriment to my channel. I'm sure that if I talked about more Beatles, well, you know what? I can't even say that if I talked about more Beatles, I'd get more views and more subscribers, because there's people out there that would probably prefer to watch Matthew Street, Joe Mayo, Beatle Brad, guys like that, guys that have a lot of Beatle fans going to their channel and watching it. And I started thinking, well, maybe I will do a Beatles video, but then I started thinking, well, those guys always get the scoops first. They, get the emails. They scour for Beatles news every day. From what I understand, they all get up at like 3 o'clock and they just type in new Beatles news and they just scan until they all find something to talk about. Actually, that's not really true. I just made that up. In fact, that's a perfect angle. Why don't I just make up stuff about the Beatles? And then that'll definitely get people to watch my video, because this is facts that nobody has ever heard before. So oh man, that's actually a good idea. That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to present to you 8 completely untrue facts about the Beatles. None of these are real, but most people aren't going to be paying attention to what I'm saying now, and they're going to take it as real. And it's going to be rumors circulating the internet. It's going to go viral. It's going to be amazing. Or nobody's going to watch it. Well, heck, I'm still going to do it. So here are 8 completely untrue facts about the Beatles. The iconic cover photo featured on their debut album, Meet the Beatles, was taken by Jerry Lewis. The acclaimed actor and comedian was on a promotional tour of the UK promoting his Oscar-winning film, The Day the Clown Cried. While on a day off, John Lennon met Jerry Lewis at a Starbucks and, knowing he was an acclaimed award-winning photographer, asked if he would like to take a photo of his then-new band, the Beatles. Lewis agreed, and the rest, as they say, is history. The final recording to feature all 4 members of the Beatles together in the studio was Silly Love Songs, a song that was eventually left off of Abbey Road because they felt bad for Ringo and decided to let him put his Stupid Octopus song on the album instead. There are approximately 117 different fifth Beatles. No, wait, that fake random fact is actually true. What's that doing here? The original lineup of the Beatles featured John, Paul, George, Ringo, and Jones. However, both George Martin and Brian Epstein decided that the group didn't really need a guy to play maracas, so they eventually asked Davy Jones to leave the band. As a consolation, they still let him appear on the first Ed Sullivan show with the Beatles, just not with the Beatles. George Harrison never cared for John Lennon or Paul McCartney. He always felt that they were dead weight in the Beatles, and he only kept them around long enough for him to build up a stockpile of songs so he could record his magnum opus, Gone Troppo. Both Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks sang backing vocals on All You Need Is Love and were featured in the original satellite TV broadcast in 1967. You can clearly hear them on a mono mix of the song that was only released in Portugal on the back of a box of Quisp cereal. The Beatles are overrated, and the only reason people talk about them on the internet is so that they could make them seem better than they actually were, and then sell their cheap-ass collectible trinkets and make some bank. Well, I hope you enjoyed those 8 completely untrue facts about the Beatles. They were fake and random, and I just thought, what the heck? Let's get in some more viewers and, dazzle them with all this knowledge, which is just a bunch of lies. Should I call them lies or untruths, or I don't know. You still watched it, right? Thank you. Remember to hit like, share, subscribe. I forgot what I say all the time. Remember to ring that bell for future notifications. I appreciate you watching this video, taking the time. I know that time is very precious to all of us. I appreciate you. And until the next time, remember me. I'm Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie.